Alright, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings here in Mendham. And the current happening is I made an hour-long video and Linux disappointed me. Yes, some sort of fuck up in the video recorder, and it's really irritating. It's a really good video. A lot of, it was good. Anyway, so, too bad. Um, so, yeah, I mean, I'm liking it. I mean, I couldn't even do this on Windows, XP. It doesn't run this OBS software. So, but yeah, just it's pretty irritating to have the video thrown away, like completely wasted. No sound. So anyway, I'm doing a backup video just in case, but it won't have the shit in the background stuff over there. Anyway, so I've been thinking, to do on Earth. The book idea, the organizing the argument idea, getting it into some sort of form, links to videos and text and quotes and whatever it takes. So, I'm using the old toolbar thing I used to use, made different varieties of them. It's kind of useful, and I'll play with that a little bit, but try not to do it to your irritation. Um, you know, it's kind of a nice feature, in the sense that the part where you add text, you can load it into just about any website, and it'll pop in there like that. And the links and all that kind of stuff, and it has little extras where you can black and white the screen, that kind of stuff. Alarm clock, this and that and the other thing. But with the link one, you can actually link to stuff like this is my comment section video thing, so I can just make it a text link and it'll pop onto the thing. See, so there's the one from the previous video where I did the same example, and now there's two of them. And so anyway, and so it's just a bookmark, and so eventually I'll give you the link to the bookmark, but for now it's just a link to this actual page that see, and this, just reload it, and there's the extra comment there. Anyway, and it's sort of I've sort of tried to make it tablet and phone friendly, in the sense you can do the touch thing to kind of navigate and make everything kind of big, to also do that and all that kind of crap. But anyway, I've decided on a kind of a simple title: Life Sucks, and especially when you don't think so. So that's sort of a reference to this first chapter, the tragedy of small, narrowly selfish mind, of the small, narrowly selfish mind. It's the kind of thing where if you don't know something's broken, then you're likely to make it more broken, or you're likely to kill somebody with it, or something like a car. Like if you don't know something's broken on the car, you're probably going to make whatever's broken worse, and you might make the world worse. More likely to, anyway. And that's the whole problem with this bliss of ignorance thing, these glib people who think the game is just about how they feel, and if they're doing fine, then everything's fine, and there's nothing that they have to account for or defend except their own happiness. I'm happy, therefore life is good, therefore there should be more of it because I'm happy. And no logic applied in terms of recognizing that that's not how the universe works. There's a whole bunch of other things not doing what you're doing, not doing the happy thing or comfortable thing or it's good enough thing, or any of that kind of bullshit. So so these are like not really chapters, they're like book 1, book 2. Book 1 would be about the head game, how people aren't looking for the truth, they have no respect for the truth, they don't give a shit about the truth because they're obsessed with the how am I doing thing. They're just too closed, too myopic, too narrow in their vision. Cigarettes. So that was part of the video before. I did wish to thank people who do nice things, gestures, donate, and then they give me cigarettes now and then. They send polite emails that I never respond to. you know, that kind of thing. Sorry about that, but thank you. Mm. I do appreciate it. I just don't know. I'm just no good at saying I appreciate it. I'm no good at typing appreciation. I should just make people videos, and then that would solve the problem. But I'm, you know, that takes effort also. And it's the whole communicating thing. It's this, you know, I don't like having to do it for some reason, especially on any kind of personal level. Then it just gets too, you know, what do you say? You know, personally, there's very little comfort to offer in this life. So I have nothing good to say, so it's almost like I should say nothing at all. So I almost self-censor my rhetoric because, yeah, I don't have anything good to say. So anyway, so the first chapter is just going to focus. I mean, there's a whole bunch of arguments you can make about this optimism bias thing, this glib thing, where people just aren't appreciating the staggering implications of their benign neglect, their disregard, their lack of consideration for the plight of all the things that are victims because of your gameplay. So because you say yes and vote for it, they're the ones paying the price for your vote, so to speak. The continued play. And these numbers get horrendous, you know, when you really look at it. And that sort of gets to the second argument, which is the nature is crap, you know, consumption, reproduction, addiction, parasitism, that there's no good function in us. You know, we're just lucky that we don't have 100 kids and we don't have to watch 98 of them die. But that's what most organisms do. And if they had brains and feelings and all the shit we have, that would not be a good time. It would not be fun to watch all your kids die. So the biggest fact you could point out about nature, the most glaring obscenity, is that it's a mass murderer of children. That it kills thousands and, you know, many thousands, hundreds of thousands of some organisms in their infancy or in their childhood to create this master genetic code thing to improve the species. Children pay the highest price. Nature's a child molester. I mean, that could be the title of the book too. That could be the title of the heading. You know, a grotesque, an obscenely gluttonous child molester. Just awful, the numbers. And those are just facts, and somehow that fact doesn't penetrate people's brains because they just don't incorporate this idea that they have to account for what goes on in the rest of the world because the world is just their world. So I feel good, everything's fine, there's no real victims, they're just whiners, and it's, you know, just this complete oblivious to the reality. And we're all vulnerable to some of that. I can say there's lots of times in my life when I didn't have real appreciation for certain liabilities or disabilities that people had, like vertigo. I remember seeing a Hitchcock movie, Vertigo, and thinking, well, you know, it's just eccentric nonsense. You know, how can standing on a chair be a problem? Silly. You know, and it gets much worse with bigger heights, of course. But this whole idea of vertigo, it's just some psychobabble. I just threw it in my, that's just bullshit category. And didn't think it was a real thing because I never experienced it. So, you know, but then once you experience it, you're saying, oh, this is a thing. This is a real thing. You know, it really happens. It really ruins you, you know, in this, you know, profound and bizarre way. But it's and it's real. It's not some sort of bullshit. It's a real phenomenon. Yes, it's psychobabble. Yes, it's rubbish in the brain. But it's there. It happens. And just the image of heights sometimes make me a bit barfy. And it's just, you know, shouldn't be like that. Doesn't make any sense. There's no trauma I ever had. You know, I can't trace it to anything. It just all of a sudden showed up. And, you know, it's a little better than it was, but I mean, it's just, it's there. It's a real phenomenon. And so, I mean, here I was totally insensitive, and I was an asshole. I'm the obvious argument being made here is that all these people who think they're, ha 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 ha, they're having their fun little, they're going to be so mockable by an intelligent future. An intelligent future would say, gee, look how insensitive, look how grotesque these people are. Just obscenely grotesque. Because they don't see it. Because they've somehow contrived some crap in their brain that somehow other brains aren't really brains. They're just the idea of a brain, and they don't really suffer, and they don't really experience. And it's totally illogical. But yes, you have to understand why they do that. In terms of this self-interest, they're so obsessed with the self-interest, and there's a self-interest in coming up with any kind of bullshit to defend your life, to defend your gluttony, your imposition, and so that this is a whole argument that can be made about this whole. It's not so much about constructing the argument of the asymmetry or the zero-sum game, because the second chapter on all of this nature is crap, he gets to that in terms of the obscene numbers. I mean, if we just took the last 10,000 years of human existence and, say there was a total of 20 billion people who ever lived, and we took all the suffering that took place in those 10,000 years by all the, say, higher mammals, all the mammals, every rat, rodent, every deer, every lion, every tiger, their life and death, the struggle, and just took that suffering and just ignored all the rest, all the 300 million years of feeling organisms getting slaughtered and ripped to pieces and having their parts ripped off and all that stuff, and just paid attention to this little tiny section, this little 10,000 year section, this minute bit. You'd still, for each human being, there'd be 1 million tortured animals, 1 million horrible deaths, and most of them children, most of them immature, little fawns and stuff, little baby elephants, little hippopotamuses, most of them immature versions, terrorized, tormented, horrifically, painfully killed. And that's the price for this fun we're having, this adventure we're doing. This is the ticket price for a great adventure, for the great adventure, for the greatest story ever told, as Dawkins would say, the douche. The price is this huge, gigantic pile of, soldier dying of his wounds in a wet, muddy trench. People spending weeks dying of plague or something, smallpox, all kinds of horrors, the cholera, all of it, just horrible deaths, horrible illnesses, horrible experiences, just grotesquely horrible. Now, if I said, if I gave you a bargain, like you're walking in a park and it's just a circular park and it's a nice clean sidewalk and you're walking, it's nice fresh air and the sun's shining, and so you're okay. You're not orgasmically having fun, but you're not harassed. And I offer you the ticket, the great adventure ticket. Oh, here, you can, stick your dick in things and, you have a few little perfect moments and have a chocolate bar or something. And the price is 1 million things are going to be tortured. We're going to torture 1 million things. 1 million torture events. That'll be the price of your little adventure. I don't think you'd buy the ticket. I don't think you'd say, yes, oh yes, I want to do that. Yes, please, give some kids cancer, do all kinds of horrible things to people, put all kinds of tubes in them, make them go through all kinds of horrible experiences, and do a ton more to animals. Run them half over on the road, so they can die in a ditch, and let them go blind and deaf and all kinds of horrible things, and bang into shit and be scared and freezing and, experience all kinds of pain and suffering and gnaw their own legs off and all kinds of shit. Because I am worth it. My fun trip is worth it. And that's the reality. And if I took it a step further and I said you would have to actually do the killing. So before you can go have the adventure, you have to spend a long time knowing each one of these million lives that you're going to fuck. Each one of these million experiences where you're going to inject the kid with the smallpox and you're going to cut off the kid's arm and you're going to, smash the person in an earthquake, and they're going to have to drink their urine for a week or some other kind of horrible thing. All these experiences are going to happen, and you're going to be the Mengele. You're going to actually make it happen. You're going to actually cut the arms off and inject the shit and watch it happen. Watch the death before you get on your adventure. Are you still buying the ticket? I don't think most people are buying that ticket. I mean, there's going to be some, I guess. There's always going to be this 10% who are just insane, and they just can't possibly, they're like Allah things, devotees or something. And it's all just Allah, 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 and they can't see anything else. And it's just like pro, I'm pro. And yeah, they just, logic and reasoning don't apply. And especially since the victims are still the victims. They're thems. They're not him. If you had to actually, so you take a step further, the thought experiment, and say, well, what if you had to actually experience all those experiences? The slow death in the war trench, and having your limb ripped off, or being horribly crushed, and all these really disgusting ways to die. And you had to actually experience those experiences. The vertigo. You had to actually have it. You had to drown 1,000,000 times, or whatever, thousands of times, to go through all these different experiences, the pain and the fear and the terror and the whole thing of it, before you get to go to great adventure. I don't think you're buying that ticket. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you're going to be willing to go through all that shit to get your little prize of ego gratification. I went to Great Adventure and I was a VIP at Great Adventure, and I was lucky. I got away easy, I didn't have muscular dystrophy or ALS, or I didn't get cancer when I was 13, and so, yeah, so it really is just about evasions of what are, like, really easily understood facts, that nature is a child molester. It's a mass murderer of children, and that's just a fact, that most of the things it kills are immature versions. And there's no regard for how bad it gets or how much torture is piled on. And that's the thing they're endorsing, is this system, this silly, dumbass lifeboat experience of, choosing winners and losers and throwing them overboard because they were unlucky, bad genes or something. It's disgusting. No one does that for fun. You do that for some grand purpose. You don't do that for the wonderful pleasure of getting spam phone calls and having computers say hi to you and try to fool you into thinking, hey, this is Bob. What do you think of? And they wait for your answer. It's that's the spectacular thing we've accomplished, is to create fake humans to lie to us and try to weasel, to basically mug us, with lies. That's our grand accomplishment. What else have we accomplished? What else are we applying our technology to that's brilliant or beautiful or fantastic or meaningful or any of that shit? We're just finding excuses to grind people up and pay them less and make them work harder and make them more meaningless. So the people having fun, at the moment, the people not currently dying of cancer, can talk about what a great ride it is. It's it's horrible. And then when you look at what people actually are, again, that's another thing. You just take a good look, okay, at what you're defending. It's fat ladies in spandex. The average Joe, if you were to have this average Joe, he would be a Homer Simpson. Is that worth torturing millions of things for, to have Homer doodle around? So here we have this intelligence just throwing it away and behaving like crocodiles, behaving as if we don't understand. We're ignorant. We can't understand that the gazelle feels. We can't understand that. It hurts to have your arm ripped off. We can't understand. No, of course we can understand. We can understand we don't want to be locked in a pen where we can't even turn around and we just have tons of little piglets so you can torture our children. Torture them. We know we don't want to do that. Yet people impose it routinely, just glibly. It doesn't matter. It's not important. It doesn't have anything to do with me. And that's just people driving broken cars with broken ideas. They don't know how to drive and the car is broken. Just clueless. They don't have their eyes open. They have their eyes quite narrowly skewed, not to see. So that's really most of the subject. Most of the subject that needs to be argued, I suppose. So like I said, just nature. You put nature on trial. That one's easy to convict. Nature's obviously got these horribly bloody hands. There's DNA evidence. There's all kinds of evidence that nature just couldn't give a shit. And it will brutally, horribly, unfairly, deserve has nothing to do with it, all kinds of shit like that. It is just nasty as fuck. So that's easy to convict on facts. But the problem is the jury. They hear nothing. They see nothing. On purpose, because they have this philosophy that no, the best way to win is to just keep looking at the finish line. Don't look at the people you killed, to get there. Don't look at what you created. Don't look at the price paid for it. No. Just keep your eyes on the prize, which is some little moment of gratification where you're going to say, I'm winning, until you're the one tumbling down the rocky slope. So, did despair the first time, so I really wanted to segregate these two subjects. But anyway, it's the whole idea of there's so many ways you can use little metaphors and little Benjamin Franklinisms or something to get to this point of making the argument that we're paying too high a price for too little produced, and that broken. If you don't understand something's broken, then you're likely to break it some more, and that kind of stuff. And so that's the real danger. And so it's like an insult to injury thing. So you can say life sucks, and I said, especially when you don't think so. Like, that's when you're at your worst, is when you're underestimating how monstrous you are. That's when the monster's set loose. Is when there's no recognition. It's like the Tyrannosaurus, just no clue that, oh, this is hurting things? Oh, I didn't understand that. That there's a price being paid. So this is like some sort of window shopping that people think they're just, hey, I can just buy whatever I want. It doesn't cost anything. I'll just do, I'll pretend. And every bit of it costs something. Every mile is coated in blood and guts, and that's what meat grinders do. See, the meat grinders, good metaphor for nature. Nature could be convicted of being a meat grinder. It could be sitting there at the defendant's table, looking just like a meat grinder, all shiny and chromy, and it's got the wheel that grabs the shit and then pushes it through the little holes, and yeah, that's what it does. It just, yes. And it can be convicted so easily. The evidence is overwhelming. And yet people will persistently, with this silly silver lining, cloudy bullshit, this trivial mush of keep defending something that is indefensible, in terms of way too expensive and way too trivial a product, which is a bunch of ego gratification. I won because the guy who really would have won and beat me, fortunately, he died of cancer when he was 12, so I won. That's the truth of it, right? Everybody who wins a gold medal wins it because the guy who would have won it, got hit by some lady, who went to the store to buy popcorn and she crushed his leg or something. That's always the way it is. That's the truth of it. Is whatever victories we have, they're mostly afforded us because the real better was somehow accidentally wiped out by the system that doesn't have much of a brain, or any of a brain really. It has no brain, nature. And yet people glorify it. It's a god, the god of nature. It has no fucking brain, no capacity to understand, no capacity to convert understanding into any kind of motivating feeling. So I did go into that a lot in the other video, was this basic argument that this is one of the biggest tragedies of our existence, is that we can intellectually know something is right and wrong, and we have to somehow convert it into meaning something to us emotionally or personally. We have to be so invested in truth or honor or dignity that we make gods out of intellectual concepts of those things, and that those things become as precious to us as, say, a child or a little kitten. We somehow have to make them emotionally, we have to give them emotionally grokking claws so they get to us. Because if they don't get to us personally, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to care. We're not going to be motivated. We're not even going to be motivated to think more about it. Somehow it has to get to us emotionally before we can even intellectually feed it. Spend enough time to thinking about it to get it. So you first have to care about the idea of the truth. You have to care about the idea of not being a pariah, not being something that says, okay, I'll torture something for my benefit. And knowing that that would be a disgusting humiliation, to do that on purpose, to say, I willed it. We're all stuck once we're here in the game, because we're alive, and we hold our welfare precious, and we know dying isn't fun. There's no evidence that it's fun, and it's also emotionally difficult to let go, to admit failure, to admit defeat, to give up. These are all negative things. To pussy out, that they're all emotional hurdles to us doing intellectually what we know might be the right thing to do. So once we're here, we're also trapped in this psychology. So the psychology is not only not feeding our intellectual recognition of the truth because the truth is unpleasant to our emotions. It's pointing out how we suck and we're assholes and we're selfish and we're all these negative things, and we don't want to hear that. And the intelligence has no power unless it can make things like the truth mean something. And the truth, obviously, I think it's kind of obvious if we look at the world, how crass it is, how commercial, how everybody's a shyster, everybody's just putting on makeup and trying to fool somebody into buying their shit. And the whole culture is made out of these lies. I love you, I care for you. Oh, let's all help somebody, blah, 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 blah. So we'll raise a whole bunch of money and only spend 10% of it on the real cause, and the rest of it will just be a social club where we all get paid to do, feel like we're special and we're important. Oh, we're helping people. Oh, we're so wonderful. When they're just squandering the value, the industry, totally inefficiently, because they have to do all this stuff that makes them feel good personally. We suck. And it's, once you say it, once you admit it, then you can get onto the agenda of saying, okay, I have to devote a certain amount of my existence to this purpose of recognizing that the truth matters, and somebody's got to defend it and we've got to fight for it, because it's not intuitively, it's not personally fun, and so it has to be pushed. You just can't wait for people to eat it up because it doesn't taste good, but it's necessary. It's a necessary pill. It's the medicine. See, this is what I mean by all these little things that people can type, and all the little phrases, even I previously stated, an ounce of prevention, is worth a pound of cure or a ton of band-aids. These kind of little ways of saying something just to get to the point that, you know, we have to pay attention to this stuff and we have to think about it, and that's part of the obligation of once you recognize it's broken, is that you either work at fixing it, and in this case you have to also work on the fact that, well, you can never make it safe. It's unsafe at any speed. Life is unsafe at any speed. It's unsafe at any degree of participation, because it's made out of deprivation. It's made out of creating some sort of negative state of need, want, desire, must have, deprivation. So you have to walk some lonely miles to really know what love is. You have to, you always have to pay for the hunger, and then the satisfaction you get for this moment when you actually gain what you're after. And we know that most of the time what we're after we don't get. You end up, just chasing in circles. You're saved from one problem. There's always another problem on the list. They'll just keep showing up. I give you what you want today. Tomorrow you're going to want some more stuff, some other stuff. That everything you have just, becomes meaningless once you have it, and almost meaningless anyway. I mean, obviously having a roof over your head, you can be appreciative of these things, every day. Say, I'm happy, I can see, I can, we're not incapable of recognizing some of our benefits. But again, that's it. We're, isn't that just basically saying, I'm grateful that I don't have a broken leg, I'm grateful I don't have cancer? We shouldn't be grateful for not being tortured. And yet this is the game people are forcing people into, is a game where you're sort of obligated to be grateful that you're not being tortured. I shouldn't have to be grateful that I'm not being tortured. We should be able to play a better game than that, or horribly deprivated, or horribly, tormented. Should be able to do a lot better than that. So, yeah, so maybe I'll just cut this one shorter than the last video, because I did go on, and it was, like I said, it was good. But anyway, so this is the ideas. There'll be more chapters, but this is like book 1, book 2. I don't know. The theme is the first theme is the fact that people aren't looking at the facts. They aren't seeing the truth. They're evading it. They're ignorant. They're whatever the cause. They're not seeing. And the other side of the argument is the obviousness of what is there to be seen, is that a huge price is being paid for what you think is your accomplishment, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth imposing the suffering. It's not worth creating the mental patient. It's just not whatever we're doing, whatever this is, it isn't worth the torment and the suffering and the pain and the bad that's dumped on things. And it's not dumped fairly, which makes it even worse. Deserve doesn't have anything to do with this game of life. And that should be a non-starter. Just logically, we should be able to say, no, you don't play a game like soccer if deserve doesn't have something to do with it. If the winners are going to not deserve it, that doesn't make any sense. And if the losers are not going to deserve to lose, well, that's again, there's no, if you obliged people to defend what they're defending, you're saying, oh look, where in the real world do you not show some sort of duplicity here? Because you expect other things to live up to a standard. You expect them to work. You wouldn't pay for them if they didn't. And clearly in this case it doesn't work. The poor will be with you always. I mean, the failure is complete, in the sense that we aren't even putting a dent in it. And in a sense, we're just making it worse with this stupid ignorance. This obsession with life has sentenced, millions of people to spending years in delusional states of mind in nursing homes, being prodded and poked and having, surgeries and all kinds of stuff happen to them. And there's no fruit for all of that. It's just wasted suffering. It's completely thrown away based on some totem pole-esque, reverence for this thing called life that you can't recognize when it's not worthy, when it just isn't functioning well enough to be obliged to just bang into the wall repeatedly. To just watch it die slow, incremental, piece at a time death. It's like watching a kid sandpaper his hands off. Why would you want to do that? Why would you do that? So, yeah, it's just really bad. It's really bad that so many people are so insensitive, so glib, so self-obsessed, so incapable of recognizing that there's just no dance you can dance that's good enough to pay for, those soldiers in the muddy ditch slowly dying of a gut wound. There's just none. There's nothing you can do to make that all right. That was worth it. It just isn't. So, yeah, I think I've said enough, and hopefully this will be a viable video. Linux won't do this. I don't know. I got to figure out what it's doing. I have different versions of it on different computers, and so this computer, it's higher resolution, it's a little nicer, and it's been reliable so far, but just totally failed for just no good reason. And it's you just don't. You don't like going in thinking, well, it's one thing if the power goes out, something happens, okay, you can accept that, but just sort of random failures, because it just doesn't provide any tools to know what's wrong, what happened, why'd you do that, because as bad as Windows is, just doesn't do that. Fails in ways you know why it did. But anyway, I'm just being, maybe it'll be okay. I'll find out, I'll figure out what's going on. But it is just disappointing to, just have an hour-long video slaughtered. It's like a child in a way. Anyway, so probably enough said. So I'll leave a link to this page, and it's pretty easy to contribute. You just hit the link button. Okay, see? So when you're there, you just hit link, and then you can type some text, and you can post it as a comment, or you can post it as a link. If it'll link to the page. So if you say post com as link, the comment will be a link, and it'll be to the page that you're on. So don't do it on this page, because then you're just going to have a link to this page, which would be stupid. So then you just use post comment if you're just posting a comment. And if you want an external link, that just means that, I know people hate this stuff, so I'll just go through this quick. That just means that you can use this text, you could type in some different text, and then you'll get the opportunity to create a link out of the text. So you can make a link to another page. You could type an HTTP address in, or paste, and the text will become that link. So you can link to external pages from this page. Probably didn't explain that well enough, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much. And the Add It Now button just allows you to, on pages that have an image, like this one doesn't have much of an image, but like for YouTube video pages, you just use the Add It Now button. So if you open this box on a YouTube page, a video page, and you just say Add It Now, then the video will link blah 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 blah, and everything will be like this. This is a video link to a YouTube video. See, the video links to the YouTube video work fairly well. But anyway, you can just use regular comments, linked comments, external linked comments. You have to learn how to use it, but anyway, I think it'll be viable eventually. Yeah, eventually I was thinking of capturing the text from that those rooms, whatever it's called, where they just type chatty stuff. And I could capture that and have this on here also, so you could just see what they were saying in these other places. But I'll have to decide whether I want to bother doing that. lots of things to do, but, but we'll see what I end up doing. But anyway, this is for starters. At least this is some sort of start. We'll see if I got to work at it. But at least I can include my videos and such. But the idea is to eventually, the other idea here is that, so I'll take text out of these comments and put them into the chapters and into the argument in different ways. And the other side to it is to get the counter argument, the opposing argument, the pro-life argument, and also make an article of that, a book of the pro-life response. But it would have to be one that's a response, not just this vacuous God says so stuff. I mean, certainly that'll be part of their argument. Some people are just God idiots, and so you first have to de-religiousize them before you can have a rational conversation. But that's another one of the obligations. So anyway, it's better than nothing. Something. We'll see how it goes. So I guess I pointed out it's made to be, for both like tablets and, so it is formatted a little strange because it's made to work on more than just computer devices and such. So anyway, so we'll hope this is a viable recording. Please. And if it's not, then you're going to get this version that doesn't have any, no screenshot in it. And you'll have to just settle for that, I guess. So anyway, until the next time, and